You're not doing God's work. Not anymore.
Take off your mask, Father.
First and foremost, Sarah, my name is Nigel Chambers. I'm from Big O Belt Media. Very excited to talk to you today about your new project, Shaman, in theaters on demand and digital, August 8th. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm
Thank you
good. I'm
so
good.
much for
Abs
chatting with me.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're given an opportunity. I had to jump on this one because this is a film. I told Antonio, I said, I enjoyed it, but it did keep me up much longer
Did
than
it?
I wanted to the night I watched it. But that's good.
Nice.
As he mentioned, this is the reaction you want when you're doing sort of a horror film, and I say sort of a horror film because it's definitely layered. I feel in different genres, but that's like the beauty of horror. And as you know, I have done other projects in horror. That horror is probably one of the best vehicles in storytelling, and thus I couldn't wait for the opportunity to talk to you because with a character like Candice, I mean, this is as layered as it get. As
Yeah.
a son of a mother of a only child, I look back at everything she's ever done for me, and I'm just forever gracious for the sacrifices she's made. Those hard conversations she's had. The
Mm,
no's that I wanted to be yeses and vice versa. And
mm,
coming from out of a fairly religious home, I
mhm.
also am thankful for her to also allow me to question certain things that I wasn't so sure about at the time. And
Mhm.
contrary to at times where it was just very much enforced that, hey, this is what it is, this is what you got to do. And once I started
Yes.
to mature and have questions, she was like, okay, we can have these conversations. When you play a
Amazing.
character such as Candace, who comes in and they are bringing a religion to a land was already rich in religion, shall I add? And this
Yeah.
is, if you want to get real technical here, this is what America basically is a religion from England came over, Christianity, and it made its ways through here. Um, but beyond her, with her missionary purpose and along with her husband, she also has a son who is now asking questions. Maybe the
Mm.
sense of, wanting to be back home with their friends, but also not quite sure about what their parents' goal and mission may ultimately be. It's very layered. I want to know for you as
Yes.
the actor, you did the work, fantastic job. Did it at all make you start to either look back, reevaluate, or potentially have any questions about anything pertaining to what her character goes through with her son, the connection with her son, and ultimately trying to protect her son?
I love that this is your takeaway from the film. I'm also an only child and also grew up in I grew up on the east coast of Canada, and it was a very particular, it was basically like one religion kind of came in and dominated the area that I lived in, like back in the 1930s. And like, I get it, I really do. And I think you're spot on with all of your takeaways of sort of this, I think we are absolutely in a time as well where people want so badly to be certain about something.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's one of the most important lessons I've learned in my adult life, that's kind of helped me move through some difficult things in my own life of like, there is none. There's none. We can't be certain about anything.
Yeah.
And for me, I think that's like was the biggest piece of Candace's journey in this film of how badly that can shake a person when their life's mission and their need to be right and the self-righteousness around that when that gets completely derailed. um and ultimately, without any spoilers around the film, we can hope that Candace will like head off into the horizon, hopefully with like a better, more open
Yeah.
to what is going to happen to her for the rest of her life without spoiling the film at all. But
Yeah.
I find that so fascinating. And I mean, I'm sure you deal with it, yes, like absolutely in America and amongst my friends, I sometimes just go, we got no control,
Yeah.
my pal. We have no control. And I think that's very much a big part of this film as well.
Yeah, a conversation for tea for sure.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. A much longer
I feel
conversation we
that
could have.
one way
Yeah,
outside this film for real.
yeah.
But the other part that again and I was just why I loved your performance is that I'm always going to be big hearted, open eye for a mother's determination to protect her son. And
Hmm.
this, even in the case of her going into the eye of the storm, is the best metaphorical way I can put this here. When you have to put all things aside, and this is for the character Candice, where she's obviously there for a job. But when it comes
Hmm.
down to her son, she doesn't play about her son. She doesn't care. She's going to knock on the door, even when her husband decides to just be like, "Oh, boys will be boys. He'll be back. Kids just do what they do." It's like, no, this doesn't work for me.
Yes,
Just talk about
absolutely.
being able to pour into your performance in that aspect of the character.
Well, it's been really fun for me because I don't have any children at this point in my life, and I actually find that I recently have been getting more roles as mothers with kids in in really dire situations. And it's been really wild for me to consider uh what that means. And I was a pretty, I was a pretty well behaved kid, but I look back at the few times where I might have like stepped out of line a little bit,
Yeah,
or gone a little too far, and the tide came in and my mom
yeah.
got really mad. And I look at those moments in my life and I go, right, I understand now. Like it's like I understand what that means, which I'm very grateful for in watching my friends with children and just understanding my parents and having me an only child as well, as I said. And I think it's just, I don't know. I think it is such a gift as an actor because it like we are always looking for stakes as actors in scenes, and it's so automatically built in.
Yeah.
It's like that bond that, like you say, is it everything else is going to fall by the wayside if something horrific is happening to her child.
Yep.
And it's just amazing that it drags her entire life's mission, like dashes it upon the rocks as well. It's pretty smart that way, I think.
Yeah, I won't be running the same. Also, no kids. So, but also as as a kid or son of a parent, we still
Yeah,
understand and be able to have moments to reflect back. That's also another
yeah,
conversation for T. You know how people try to say like oh, you don't understand because you don't have kids. It's like,
right.
no, I do understand because I am a kid.
I
I'm a
am a
parent.
kid. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think we also like, I don't know, like, yeah, we might not have kids, but there are people in my life that if they're hurting, it hurts me.
Same.
So I think that's a very like similar, I think we are capable of understanding those things on some level.
Big on the empathy. So right here with you.
Yes. Yeah, me too. I kind of have to be in order to be an actor.
Well, I'm glad because that literally my question I was going to ask you was that like, from watching you perform over the years and going back to Vampire Diaries, which almost feels like yesterday when you really think about it. I
Yeah.
want to know about this role and how special it was to you and in what ways did it push you as an actor, but particularly emotionally, how has it pushed you?
Mm. I mean, it was so special. You mentioned Vampire Diaries. It was so special to work with Daniel Gillies again because we've known each other for like 15 years, and I've always had such respect for him as an actor and also like as a filmmaker and a writer. And
Yeah.
I was so grateful that he recommended me, and then I got to recommend Jet, who plays our son, because I worked with Jet when he was 9 in another
Oh,
horror film,
wow.
and to watch him grow up and like to watch what his career's been doing is so beautiful. So it was a very significant film in that way, but I think also I'd never been to South America, and I'd never, working with all of these amazing actors from Ecuador and Colombia,
Yeah.
I just felt so um really cared for and supported. And it's just such a I miss them all so much. I don't
Mm,
speak a lot of Spanish because I grew up speaking French,
yeah.
like learning French in Canada, but I learned a little bit of Spanish. But I think about a couple of the crew members where we literally couldn't speak to each other really at all. And we were weeping when we had to say goodbye to each other.
Oh,
And I just go like that to me is as significant as like the emotional challenge of actually being in the film, and
yeah.
the role itself was just, it was such a like formative experience to just work there and to experience, Ecuadorian culture, which I'd never, and being on that mountaintop and seeing how people are still living on this mountaintop. And it was so moving. It was so, so moving and beautiful.
I love that. I would say from my time talking to Antonio, and he mentioned, not only was this a by blood family project, but like how
Mhm.
everybody around was family, and
Yeah.
it's good to hear you share those same sentiments. Ooh,
He's
man, I
such a
wish I was on
special.
set, man. I mean, besides the fact
Yeah.
that like I lost sleep while
Yeah.
watching it, but I'm sure it was so much fun in it. And you're right on Jet career. But that's one to watch for sure. And I think it feels very right that you were his mother in this scene and considering that you had watched him flourish into the actor that he is now. So
Oh, that's sweet. Yeah, he's just going to continue doing amazing things. And we'll look back at this film and go,
yeah.
"Oh my God, when Jet was 14." Yeah, it was so special. It was, and Daniel Gillies and I were actually at a Vampire Diaries convention like 3 months later and looking at each other and going, "Were we really on that mountain? Were we really doing like were we tripping? Like was that just like it was so kind of magical in that way where I kind of when I watched the film I went, "Oh my God, I can't believe that we were there and doing that."
Yeah.
And that's a pretty unique experience to have with a film where you just go, "Yeah, I can't believe that. Can't believe we did that at 14,000 feet."
You did that. You did that.
Yeah.
You all did that. And now the fans, they got to get to the audience to check this one out. Shaman in theaters, on demand, and digital August 8th. Sarah, thank you so much for your time. I hope we get to talk again very soon. This was so much fun.
I do too. Thank you so much. My pleasure.
Absolutely. Anytime. Appreciate you today.
Predates.